Alright, so I wanted to do a little build overview. A 2021 Jeep Gladiator Sport S with a max tow package. My goal here is somewhat of an adventure build, as I like to call it, just something that'll allow us to do some trail riding, occasional difficult obstacles, just go explore. I wanted the tow package. You know, it had better trans cooling, better alternator, because we will be towing. We're planning on getting a smaller couples camper to kind of drag around with us. And, you know, we'll be able to travel, set up shop somewhere, and then go explore some trails and check things out. So hopefully we are close to retirement within the next few years or so, where we'll have time to do those kind of things in the winter months. As of right now, we just have, you know, little summer weekends here and there. But to get started, I got a Clayton Overland PLUS 2.5 inch lift. It actually came out to about almost 4 inches from factory height before I put the tires on. Along with that, I went with the Falcon 2.1s. I thought it was a good starting point. Wasn't really sure what I was going to want. I know the nicer ones have adjustable valving. Maybe I'll upgrade those when it's time to upgrade shocks, but as for now, I really like everything about it, the way it works, the way it rides on the road, the way it works off-road. So we're gonna stick with that for a while. The tires, I got 37s, the Yokohama Geolanders. I can get more into that in another video if you guys want, but I'm pretty happy with those. That's showing about 15,000 miles of wear so far. They're holding up great. I do a 5-tire rotation every 3,000 miles. The road pressures, I keep cold pressure, I set them at 28, and then they kind of work their way up to 29 or 30 while I'm driving, which seems just about right. I'm getting nice even wear, and as you can see, pretty long life. So the wheels, they're Method 701s, and they have that, they call it a bead grip technology, I believe. They claim you can take it down to 10 pounds off-road without losing your bead. When I go off-road, I've been setting them down to 14 pounds, and maybe I'll try and go a little more next time, but really, I mean, 14's working great for me. I haven't really had any issues, at least with the type of off-roading I do, or have done so far. So I ran like this with this lift and tire setup for about a year on the stock 410 gears. It worked fine. I never saw 8th gear though. And then even sometimes if I had a little headwind, I would have to manually put it into 7th gear and to try and get it to stay. A few months ago, a couple months, I had 513 gears installed. And then at the same time, I did ARB lockers. The difference between 513 and 410 was pretty noticeable. I immediately got 8th gear back in normal, you know, anything over 45 or 50 miles an hour, it would find its way into 8th and stay there. The transmission just seems a lot happier with more appropriate gearing for this tire size. And I went with 513s over 488s because I know that in the future I'll be towing. I guess it would allow me to go up to a 38 tire size too, but from everything I read, it seems like the consensus is 37's about the limit, unless you're also going to get into upgrading axles, drive shafts and the like. So right now that's not my intention. So, but we'll see where it goes, you know. The lockers, I had the lockers installed. I have the compressor mounted under the hood, and that all works into a Switch Pros setup. But I'll just show you under the hood real quick. So we got the compressor. I use a 813 Designs mount. It required you to remove the cover over the engine, but so here I've got the compressor, and then just forward of that I have the solenoid set up for the lockers, and then out in front here is the solenoid to power the winch, and it gives you the option to not leave the winch powered all the time. You can turn it on and off. I know things look a little messy here. Batteries are on my short list, so just deciding if I'm going to stay with the stock setup and just get way better batteries, or go to something like a Genesis dual battery. We'll see how that goes. But once I do that, everything's going to be cleaned up and routed much better. But you can see there's the Switch Pros, mounted on a bracket from one of their kits. Out front here is the I've got a Motobilt. Let's go like that. I've got a Motobilt Crusher with the bull bar, and then Warren Evo 12S in it, along with some Diode Dynamics lighting. Those are driving lights in the middle and fog lights on the outside. And then the headlights are the Oracle lights, the LEDs. All of these together are incredibly bright. Probably much brighter than I'll ever need, but I do intend to add a couple more lights up on the cowls. I did the brackets already. I did the brackets because I wanted to do I needed a place for the GMRS antenna. So I just did these brackets now, figuring whatever I decide to do for spotlights in the future, I'm ready to go. But the GMRS radio, there's the antenna for it, like I said. And then I got the Ocean KG1000G, which allowed me to separate the faceplate and put that up here on a Molly Platform Solutions overhead panel, along with the Boo Boo kit. And then with the wire it came with, you can see the wire behind the faceplate there, that route down through all the panels, and the main body is under the seat, as you can see there. I have more information on that in another video. Out here we got the Rock Hard angled down sliders. I knew I liked Rock Hard's products. This thing is bomb proof, but I opted for the angled down version because it seemed like it would make a pretty good step. My wife was requesting assistance in getting into the Jeep, and it actually worked out pretty good. They're purely functional, along with a way to help you step up into the vehicle. So here, I have a whole other video on this too, but here I did a rear seat delete. Now it can all come out and the rear seats can go right back in it if I ever want them to, but for the most part now, I just have the dog with me or just a bunch of stuff. My wife and I have been out of town a few times with the dog, and it works out pretty well. We, obviously with the doors and lid on when we're traveling, but yeah, it gives the dog plenty of room for when the doors are off. I got a canine harness that I have hooked in through the child restraint tether there. And yeah, so just a quick look at this. The I got a rug over the delete. Got locking storage in the platforms. You can see the split here is split on a 60/40, so you can do half seat, half platform, whatever you want to do. The back covers here are for visual and physical protection for the audio equipment. So I got the amp mounted on this side, and then the subs are on the other side. I'll show you those when we get over there. The yeah, that's this whole thing, the whole platform can come out along with that cover, and then the seat goes in, and then the box that the amp and the subs are mounted in fits just fine behind the rear seat, so I can use it like that if I want. The spare tire, just wanted to touch on that real quick. I do have the 37-inch spare tire underneath. I had to remove the heat shield that was up here But the way I see it, that was no big deal because I do the 5-tire rotation every 3,000. So no one tire is sitting up there for very long. And I honestly don't think it gets that hot anyway. Also, to allow clearance for the 37 is this track bar. It's from Clayton Overland, and it's got that whoopty in it, so it goes around the tire no matter what position it's in. And that worked out really well as well, or really good as well. In the back here, I got the Gladiator Badge from Hawk Off-Road, the H-A-U-K Off-Road. It's one of the earlier ones. I know there's a few other companies making them now, but I actually kind of like the black against the granite color. So I'm just going to leave that. The lights back here in the bumper, they're from Vision X, and they sold a little kit where you pop the reflectors out of the bumper and install the brackets in, and that allows for rear floodlights that I have on the switch panel up there, on the Switch Pros. The audio system, the only thing stock is the head unit, and I know upgrading the head unit is always advisable, but I didn't want any obvious indicators that anything was going on in here. I didn't want any chance of losing functionality with all the menu stuff that was in it. So I got a harness adapter to go behind it, and then that runs down to under the passenger seat. Got a signal processor, and then that goes back to the rear cabinet here where the 5-channel amp is, and then the subs. So the sub channel is a mono channel, and then I got 2 channels for the front and then 2 for the sound bar. But all the speakers were replaced. Actually all the speakers I used were Kicker. I'm pretty happy with the way it sounds. It's probably not the best system in the world. In fact, I'm sure it's not, but it's pretty solid. When I take the top off, I can crank it up and I've got full tunes, no problem. But yeah, I think that might be about it. I am going to do a video on the audio install because it took me quite a bit of research to find the right stuff to allow me to hook that head unit up to the signal processor and actually have it work appropriately. So I'll do a little video on that, explaining all the parts I used and how I went about things. But yeah, you can see the Switch Pros over there. Got it mounted on. They made a mount kit that you could buy from Switch Pros specifically for the JL or JT. And then these 67 Designs phone holders. They're actually incredibly nice. That's it, not too much else. In the future, it's an ongoing project, like I'm sure all of you are aware of. But, in the near future, I do want to do fenders. Still not sure what. I just want a little more clearance in the front. I don't want anything extreme, because it will allow me to shave the stops down a little and potentially get a little more flex. So I may just go with the Mopar high lines like what comes on the Rubicon. We'll see what happens about that. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to do batteries. And some way, I'm starting to push this electrical system with all the crap I got installed. So need some better batteries in there. Also on the short list are steering components. I'm going to do, as it stands right now, I guess I forgot to show you, I have the Steer Smarts sector shaft brace that allowed the steering box to the sector shaft comes down and goes into a bearing on the brace, and then the front track bar gets reinforced at the same time. Ever since I put that on, along with a Fox steering stabilizer over there, this thing tracks really nice and straight. You're not fighting it left and right all the time, but that worked out well. So steering components, the drag link and the tie rod are gonna get replaced with something, possibly the Steer Smarts Yeti stuff. I'm still looking at it to see what's going to work. And we'll see, you know, whenever I get that done, I'll probably do that. I've been looking at bed racks. I do want to do something. I'm not a rooftop tent kind of guy, but I do want to expand storage options, because anybody with these Gladiators knows, you know, this having a bed is nice, but it's not as big as you think, and it's pretty easy to fill up fast. So yeah, I'm looking at racks. I actually just discovered that Extrusion Overland, and their racks look pretty sharp and they seem pretty versatile. So might end up going that route, maybe with a mid rack with a couple of hard cases mounted up on top for dry storage. We'll kind of see what happens. And then seat covers, at least a front pair, because they get dirty quick. I'm already starting to get embedded with dust. So yeah, anyway, you know, long-term plans, there's a few other things I'd like to do at some point, but got to take it one thing at a time, right? So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, I do have an audio install coming up, video. I do have a video up about the rear seat delete project and the GMRS radio. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. If there's anything specific you'd like me to just give more information on, maybe I can make another video. Just let me know. And thanks for watching.